Hello, 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 and welcome. I'm so glad that you are here. And I'm excited that, I am launching a campaign all month called Being Bold. And I'll be talking to different women, social media and interviews about what it means to them to be bold, what it means to be bold. For me, it means that, I am stepping out there and I'm living my true purpose. I'm living from my core. And I'm not allowing anything, anybody, to really get in my way. People say all the time, Rashika, I see that you're so busy, and we don't see you unless you're posting something. We don't hear from you unless we see you posting something or doing something. That is because I have within me now to be unstoppable. And, the goal is for me to see more women become more and more unstoppable and not listen to what everybody else is saying or paying attention to what everybody else is doing. I was talking to someone recently, and I was talking to them about um, a film that I'm going to be doing, producing, and writing called Rejection. And, the first thing they say is like what anybody would say, where did you get that title from? And I got that title from, I was thinking about a time when I was rejected. And I had gone on an annual event, gone to an annual event. And while I was there, I had to switch, my hotels. And you know, we were nice, we were calm, we were honest about what was going on with the room, why we were displeased with the room. And I can remember the guy over at the front desk saying, you people aren't better than this or don't know any better than this. And the other words, as you can see, I can vaguely remember because what stuck in my head was you people. And not only did you people stick into my head and ooze down into my heart and in my soul, but the fact that our request was as if we were doing something wrong after paying our own money. So not only did we not get the money back, but we were escorted off the premises. Can you imagine? Me and a friend of mine, being escorted with our luggage by officers, didn't do anything, never got loud, um, never had an attitude. We were so excited about the event that we were attending that, we only just wanted another room. You know, we didn't want to cause any disturbances or anything. Although they called the cops, we ended up calling, but they called the officers as well and said that there was a disturbance. And literally, we were standing there when she made the phone call. So I was thinking about that entire incident, like here I am, this young woman being escorted, young African American woman being escorted off of the premises. And there was a church group there, and, they're watching us. So now we look as if we have done something wrong. But riding home, I couldn't help but to think we were rejected. I was rejected. So, when I got home, I thought about it and I thought about it. And for a while, it bothered me, it bothered my inner me. And I can remember one time I was thinking about it and I could feel as if I was like in this dark place. I felt sad. I felt down. And I'm much of a happy person, very, lively and vibrant and very silly. And I love to have a good time. I love to make people laugh. And so for me to be in this place, it didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel normal. So I said, I don't want to always be the type of person who is, I want like I'm on the outside, I'm good, but on the inside, I'm not. So I said, I need to start working on me from the inside out. It's good for all of us to evolve, and we're always evolving, and it's good for us to change. But the thing is, you want to make sure that um, throughout this evolution, that all of it is positive. It's positive, and your evolution is having some sort of a positive impact on other people. So that's why I say, yes, it's good to change, but are you changing for the better? And so that is where the title came from. Rejection is a good thing, because from that moment on, I was determined to not look back. I was determined to, smash perception of just because I was there, and I made a request for something. You know, I didn't deserve it because I was literally just being a black woman who was being disruptive, and asking for too much, because that's not what I was doing. I was there to have a good time because I was there to enjoy an annual event. And at no point in time was I trying to be a bad person. So I began to look a little deeper within myself. Why am I feeling this way? Because I always tell everybody, and I believe in self evaluation, looking at you to see how you could change you for positive results. So it's either I can just be this sad, angry person for the rest of my life, and make everybody around me annoyed and sad, or I can try to do differently. So I did. I began to say, I'm not going to let something like this get me down and keep me down and hold me down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to thrive off of it. And I write. I love to write. I love to read. I love to draw. I love to paint. I love to create, period. So I said, I'm going to have to grab one of these and get going with one of them. What fuels me? What makes me want to hop out of the bed and do it even more? What makes me want to take it to bed with me, and do some of it before I go to bed? And that's writing. So I started writing. I had already been writing, but I started writing even more. I made it more of something that was a part of my daily life, writing, 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 writing. And, you know, along this journey and this path of me, you know, becoming who I am now, and being my bold self now. It was, when I say a journey, it was a journey. I would write a short story and I would send it off and I would get rejected. So when you get rejected, the first thing you start thinking is, oh my gosh, am I good enough? And so then I would write. I remember writing a spec for a television show because I screenwrite as well. I'm a screenwriter as well. So I said, I really I want to do a good job. So I studied, I read, how to write the best screenplay and the best format. Hadn't gone to school for it. Initially, my degree was in psychology. And so I worked and worked and worked. And so I said, I did it. I put it aside and I said, you know, this is what I want to do. And this is who I want to be. So I'm going to do this. So I submitted one of my screenplays um, into a festival, and it was horrible. Um, I actually I didn't even get accepted into the festival so that I could place. I was like, oh God, that hurt. So I'm not good enough to be a screenwriter. That's fine. That's good. I got it. Not good enough to do this. Um, doesn't mean I'm not going to do it. Just doesn't mean I'm going to do it right now. So then I said, okay, well, I love kids. I love to be around children all the time. Love, love, love. Anybody that knows me knows I love kids. I'm always the auntie that's with the kids while the adults are doing their thing, and then I come and be with the adults. But I'm always with children first. And so I said, I can do this. I like being around kids. I think I'm gonna do something that has something to do with children. And and so that's what I did. I went back to school and I got a degree, associate's degree in early childhood education, and I worked as a teacher for about 6 years. And I said, yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm doing these things with the kids, and I can do this. I love this. I'm teaching. The kids are fun. The parents are great, but it wasn't enough because I kept saying, there's more to me than this. And even, on my break, I would write. When I got off of work, I would write before I went to pick my daughter up. When I was in the car picking up my daughter, I would write. So it's like, this is who I am. I know I'm teaching. I love what I'm doing, but it's not enough. I need to be doing more with my life. I want to be doing more, and I can't get away from writing. And I tell you, this story really has a lot to do with being bold, um, and rejection. It's like a two-part thing. And so I said, yes, I do. I want to write more. I want to do more in terms of writing. That's who I am. So I said, I'm gonna write a children's book, you know, because when you work around children, you'll learn very quickly that they speak their minds. They say exactly what they want to say, exactly how they want to say it. And there really isn't much of a filter when you work with preschoolers. I have 5 year olds. And so I said, that's what I'm going to do. So being around the children, yes, that inspired my first children's book called I Love My Name, Tanika T. No, it doesn't have anything to do with my name. Some kind of way I came up with that title. And, when people even ask, did it come from my name, Rashika? Nope, not at all. When I wrote the book, I hadn't even thought about it. I literally was doing research on what the name Tanika means. I literally came up with the name Tanika T. Um, and did research on what her name means. And it means beautiful, princess, smart. So you can go and look it up yourself. And if your name is Tanika, you're beautiful, unique, and smart. Um, so I did that. I wrote that first book, and I was so excited about it. Um, and I launched it, and I said, I'm going to launch it, and I'm going to do a book launch party. And I worked so hard. I planned this party at this bookstore, really phenomenal bookstore. And I had the party. I put out the flyers everywhere, all over town, all over the school. And listen to this, no one from my job, not one of the other teachers, showed up. And a part of me was sad, and another part of me was angry. They're two totally different emotions. One was sad, one was angry. So then I had to do exactly what I did when I was discriminated against and called you people and escorted off of the premises. I had to decide, how am I going to evolve from this? Either I can go back to work and I can be extremely angry with everybody and walk around with an attitude, or I'm going to go back to work and I'm going to act like nothing ever happened. Which one do you think I planned? I did. Huh. A or B? Let me know in the comments below. So, but the one thing that got me the most was, I kind of feel like I was rejected. It's like I really wanted you guys to accept this. I wanted you guys to be a part of my hard work. I wanted you guys to see my results, and you totally did not show up. I literally went in every single classroom and personally invited everybody. And then I posted a poster outside of every single classroom. Not one parent showed up, not one teacher, not even my boss. So as I look within myself to try and figure out, how am I going to evolve from this? What am I going to do next? What did I learn from this? What does this teach me about myself and what I'm doing? Um, because I think it's extremely important for us to look within ourselves. A lot of times when we look outside everybody else and we say, well, could have shown up. I could have said she could have shown up. She's nothing but, a butthead, or, All of them are just racist and nobody wanted to come. The thing is, I didn't want to make excuses because I feel like when I began to make excuses, now I am putting myself in a negative space and I'm bringing my own self negative energy, which is not good because I cannot bring myself negative energy and then walk around being positive. Okay, that again is looking good on the outside and feeling horrible on the inside. That I didn't want to do. So I said, I'll write another book because I am good enough. And I don't really need recognition from the folks that I work with because what they see is a teacher. They see me making sure that the curriculum is done well. They see me interacting with the children and the parents. They see growth in the kids. They saw me out on the playground playing with the kids. They didn't understand my journey as a writer. Therefore, I wasn't going to hold it against them that they didn't show up. You see how that works? That is me taking something that could have been something totally negative and turning it into something positive. I wrote another book. And this time when I launched, I didn't even launch in my own town. I didn't even talk about what I was going to be doing. And to make that long story short, I ended up leaving my job to not because they did not show up, but I ended up leaving that job to pursue a full time career in writing and creating and directing. And so since then, I've written 5 books, 4 children's books, 1 self-help guide. You know, being rejected sometimes, being rejected all the time feels horrible. But most of the time, it feels good when you decide to move forward. It feels good when you take a step back so you can evaluate everything that has happened so you can decide how you're going to move forward. So, on this journey of writing, yes, I submitted a script into a film festival and horrible, flat, didn't get in. I said, you know what? That's okay. That is okay. The books did well. People loved them. I got great responses. I can do this. I just got to stay at it. I got to stay at it. I got to work at it, you know. So I wrote another one and I submitted into another festival. And I got accepted. It was officially accepted. And then I placed. So I said, this is good. This is good. This is good. We're going places. We're doing things here. So I always tell everybody, I tell people, I said, look, just because you're doing well doesn't mean you have to stop learning, doesn't mean you stop growing. So what I did is I started watching a lot of webinars and start doing a lot more reading, buying more books because I wanted to do better. I said, I want to be in another festival, but this time, I don't want to win second or, I want to win. So I did that. And then I kept submitting into more festivals. And there was this one particular one that I was, it was a festival for Houston, excuse me. And I said, I want this. I want this. And then I found out that I was up against 2 guys like, oh my God, I want this. I want this. And so I sat down and, we have these strict guidelines, you can't be over so many pages in order to get it filmed and that sort of thing. And I was like, I really got to have this because now I'm up against 2 fellas. Yes, I'm old school. I said fellas. And so got it. Won, but I wasn't able to travel to Houston. So excited about that. Got it. And I said, look, if I can go up against these guys, man, I can do this, So I said, I want to do more in film. And here's the deal. This is what I want you guys to see about everything that I'm doing and as I'm evolving. I'm not looking around. I'm not looking at everybody else. I'm not competing with the other writers. I don't consider myself aspiring. The only person that I am looking at is me. The only person that I am competing with is myself. The only person that I am trying to do better than is myself. So if something wasn't accepted, if I didn't place as high as I wanted, I didn't go, you know, oh my God, let's see what everybody else placed as. And I stay focused. I look directly at me, Rashika. What am I doing? What can I do better? What am I not doing? Now, when I look outside myself, that's when I am looking for feedback. So I always like to tell everybody, and you'll hear me say that a lot because I do tell everybody, rejection is a good thing, and feedback is something you always want to appreciate. As long as the feedback that you're getting is from an expert in that field, that industry, that category. Now, everything is not feedback. Some things are just advice and opinions. I'm talking about when someone knows exactly what they are talking about and they tell you so that you can do better. You take that feedback and you apply it to what you are doing so that you can hone your craft and do better. So, and you have to understand, please understand, my friends, that not everybody out there understands your journey. They don't understand your story. They don't understand your drive. So it is okay if you tell somebody what you're working on and they give you that look or why are you doing that. You have to stay focused. Notice, you never hear me saying that I went and talked to such and such and she said I should do this and then I kind of changed I'm never going to do that. The whole purpose of me doing this entire video is to inform you that it is time for you to be bold. Be bold. Make that phone call. Send that email. Pitch that product. Pitch that show. Write that script. Finish that book. Do what makes you happy. It is okay along your journey that you're going to hit these pitfalls and sometimes you're not going to feel as motivated. I like to tell people break your goals down into little sections and work on them piece by piece by piece until you get to where you want to go. And try not to get overwhelmed, but still consider, view, look at the big picture. Keep the big picture in mind. I decided to go back to school for, here I am, I've been writing now for well over 6, 7, 8 years maybe. And I decided to go back to school for creative writing, get a BFA in creative writing for entertainment. And it's like, why would you go back to school? You've been writing all these years. Because never stop learning. The more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you grow. You ever seen a plant grow without water and sun? It doesn't work. It dies. You know, you don't want to stop growing. You don't want to die in your industry. You want to just keep getting better and better and better and focusing on what matters to you. When I decided to go back to school, I was kind of torn. I was wavering a little bit. You know, First of all, this is going to cost me money. I have children in college and I homeschool, and so how am I going to do this? What is the purpose whenever I'm already working as a professional writer and I'm already working in broadcasting and I'm already writing my own books. What is the point, right? Why do this? I needed the education. There were things that I had been doing for so many years, and going back to school taught me that there is a totally different way that things have been doing. Things are being done. Also, I work in marketing and advertising. The way things were being done 5 or 6 years ago, even 3 years ago, a lot more innovative now. So never ever stop learning. I am 42 years old, and I believe that it is great to go back to school at 42 years old now. We're in a world now where everything is digital. And where I'm going with everything that I'm doing is as well. So why not? Why not learn more about my own industry? Grab hold. This is another thing that I want you to do in being bold. Grab hold to a mentor. It doesn't matter what age you are. Find you a mentor. Find someone that is going to tell you that, nope, that's not a good idea. This is a good idea. This is what I would suggest. Find someone who is going to be in your corner, who understands and relate to what you are doing with your life and your time. Because I don't know how I've gone through my life without having a mentor. Um, my mentor, and I have two because there are two, separate things that I do, working in publishing and writing and editing. You need someone that knows what they're talking about. And then working in film and television, you need someone in production. You need someone that knows what they're talking about. So I have two totally different ones. But the main thing here is I'm being bold. I'm stepping out there. I'm finding out what I need to be doing in terms of the industries that I'm in. That's what you need to be doing. Yeah, bold is for women, but this is for men and women. I really want people in 2019 to just step back and evaluate what you've been doing with your lives, because it's kind of sad to hear that you have so many people that are depressed and or bipolar or don't know what to do with their lives and that sort of thing, because you're looking at social media, you're looking at what everybody else is doing, where they're going, how well they are doing. And then you start feeling like, oh my God, I'm being left behind. No, you're not being left behind. You're just paying too much attention to what's going on outside your own self. And now it's time for you to just reel it all back in, quiet the noise, be bold, and do what works for you. Because you can do it. Because you can do it. Okay, let me stop being silly. That's why you don't be silly, because then you will totally lose your train of thought. But on this campaign that I'm doing for a whole entire month, it's all about being bold and talking about what being bold means to you. Okay. And I want you to leave your comments below. You can share with me something that has happened to you and how you overcame it. You can also share with me what it means to be bold with you. You can check me out on boldmags.com and share some of your comments there. Subscribe on boldmags.com. Subscribe right here on Bold Mags TV. I have to slow that down. And so we can have more chats about being bold. So we can have more chats about love and relationships in 2019. Also, so we can have more chats about writing, screenwriting, film, television, reality TV, publishing. I work in every single one of them, believe it or not. And so reach out. I'm here. You can also email me at rashika@rashikaroberts.com. Or you can email me at rashika@boldmags.com. I have to leave both of those because sometimes I check one and forget to check the other. Enough of being silly. But I hope you got something out of today. Be sure to subscribe below, leave your comments, and share with me some things that you would like to chat about as well. Okay, don't forget, check out I Love My Name Tanika T on Amazon. And also don't forget to check out boldmags.com. There are a lot of trending topics, entertainment, celebrity chefs, interviews that I have done with folks, and lots of fun. So go subscribe there and subscribe here. I look forward to talking to you again really soon later. Bye bye.